All right. So everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, when you log first, you obviously get to list track by moving to desk. Now I've taken the list track icon here and moved it up to the top left just so it's easy to show you. But this is the icon you want to use. Now, if it doesn't show on your desktop, you can come over here to the right side to filter, click on it and search for it. All right. But it is, if you haven't moved it to your desktop as an active app, you may not see it. Or you can click here and click add app right here, and you will find the list track and you can add it to your desktop. All right. So if you click on list track, this is the page I see. Now, frankly, you may see a little different page because my access level is a little different. Here I have a dashboard, and this one's showing for the Forked River office. I can change it to another office, but I wanted to show you what some of the things I look at using this tool uh, to get an idea how the market's doing and where our business comes from. Because sometimes, you make decisions based on this. So if we are to look at the online views, this is for the month. We can say the majority of consumers are on Zillow. And that's important for you as an agent to know. And as we're going through this, think about how you can use this as a listing presentation tool. Think about how you can use this as a servicing tool, how you can use it to get price reductions when needed. All right. So anyway, we can see the majority of our listings views come from Zillow, followed by Trulia. This is IDX, other broker sites, Coldwell Banker. All right. And this is the line I like because this shows where our visitor traffic is online. And we can see this was the Zillow peak back here. If I look for a whole month back, and I can see how many were on Zillow, I can see how many were on coldwellbanker.com. So I can really see what's happening with our listing traffic. And we can see that our trend line is lowering a little bit from Zillow. And that's the main one we look at because, as we all know, that's where the majority of consumers are. Now I can look at any point and see what that traffic is and rank it. So this is one of the tools I really like, and you're going to see this as you're listing. This is the heat map of where our viewers, online viewers, are coming from. Now I can switch to satellite, which I happen to prefer. And by holding this hand in the middle of the map, I can drag this and I can hit the plus sign here, which I want to do. I'm going to drag this map back over. So I can see the Forked River office. There's the red is the majority of their online visitors are coming from Forked River. And it's up to brick, it gets a little thinner. You can maybe be able to see a little green over here near their Cherry Hill, and then portions of North Jersey and into New York. So that's where that buyer traffic is coming from. And I'll show you a little bit more when we get down to taking a look at listings. And there are just other metrics here that I find useful. So I wanted just to show you just real quick. I can switch to Tuckerton as an example. And when I come down and look at this heat map, switch to satellite. It's not responding as quick. There we go. It gets a little different. See how much you can see more traffic over here, less traffic coming from New York. And there's the majority of, there they are, and some Atlantic City traffic. So it gives you an idea where the buyers are coming from for a particular market. All right. All right. So that's the dashboard view. Now I'm going to click on listing view. And as I said, I don't know for sure what you see when you log on, but let's switch to listing view. All right. Now I'm going to pick the brick office. And they're loading. They should be loading. Now I went through this a minute ago, everything worked fine. That's the way it happens though, right? There we go. All right, so when you go to your listing view, you should see a list of all your listings for your office, okay? Well, obviously, I'm seeing all the listings for the brick office. So I wanna use one that I've used here at 210 Spinnaker, okay? You can see it's an active listing, and this says View Online Analytics. All right, if there's a seller report scheduled to go out, it will show it here when it's scheduled to go out. This is where you can schedule delivery to your sellers. And this is the copy of the report that the seller will see. Its server is running slow this morning, so give it a second. I love technology. All right, I'm going to skip that because we'll try to come back to it in a second. Here's what I want. This seller report shows the property, and it has a button where they can click on to see the same analytics here. All right, so this is the analytics for 210 Spinnaker. All right, so we're looking right now at views for a month. So we can look at Spinnaker and we can see, okay, they've had over 2,000 hits in the last month on Zillow. So you know what your traffic into that home would be. So if you know, geez, you've had 239 views on Zillow and you're not getting much traffic, you're probably going to have to, as you would know, look at your price. Now I can come up here and I can change this to all, like going back to the beginning of time since it's active listening, and we can see how many views we've had. I'm going to switch back to a month. Now, this is an interesting graph here that you can use. You can use this even in your listings to say, okay, look here, when it first went on the market, there's where we were with Zillow, 287 views. And as time goes on, look what's happened to the amount of people interested in that listing. You can see where it's flattened out. And that's where sometimes, and I'm not saying it's a stale listing, I'm just saying that sometimes what you can point out to a seller is, look what's happened to our traffic. Maybe if we have a price reduction or something like that, we could renew it. All right. Interesting. Okay, now here's the heat map. I'm going to put it on satellite. And we can see look where the majority of interest in that property is coming from. Very little in our own market. Most of it's from out of market. So if I would think about how could I use this in a listing presentation, maybe I take a screenshot of this and I put it into my presentation and I say, you're going to get reports. Let me tell you how I use this information. I know for this particular listing, the majority of my traffic is coming from New York. So I'm going to use Facebook advertising to target zip codes in this heat map area. So people who I know are interested in your listing are seeing the advertising. Would that differentiate you from other listings, from other agents? Are you bringing something different to the table? I would suggest you are. If I look like I'm looking to the right, that's because I've got two monitors here. And again, I can change that to a different time. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can see this seller's report. That's where you can click to send it to a seller. Manage similar homes. You can click on here and you can bring up graphics of similar homes to see how your listing is performing in comparison to comparable listings. So let's go back to my listing page. And if we come up here to Spinnaker, we can come over here and see schedule delivery. I'm going to click on that, and this is where I can put in the person's name, their email address. If I want to CC somebody, I can put it right here. If I want to BC myself, I can do that so I can see what they're seeing. Well, it has a CC for agent, so you don't have to do that. Sorry. You can change this subject if you want to for this report, add whatever you want. Here's the letter. You can edit that. And you can include metrics from competing brokers or not. I don't like to do that. Just do not include them, or you can. That's up to you. And delivery options. Decide how often you want that to go. All right. And then just if you want to send it bi-weekly or weekly, you can click on weekly, click submit, and it's done. That seller will now get those reports till the listing is either sold or you come and cancel the reports. That's how easy that is. Let's see one more time if we can try to get the seller report up. Apparently not. Let's try a different one. Well, it came up for a second.
I just have a question, Jim.
Yes.
So I haven't had a listing yet, but just a question regarding the websites that we promote, because I know people are really interested in how we're going to market their properties. Which sites do we use for marketing, or can we use?
That's a good question. There's two things you can do. One, the best thing to do is to go to our website, rivierarealty.com/e-marketing.
Okay.
All right. And that shows all the places that we send a seller's listing to. And it's a good informative site. And if you have any questions after looking at, ask me. All right. The one thing that's not in these metrics is data from realtor.com in this ListTrac. They are trying to get realtor.com into this, but they have declined to send us their metrics. I don't know the reason, but they're working on trying to get them into that, by the way. All right. So the main site is Zillow. Not that we as real estate professionals prefer Zillow, the public prefers it. So you know, my wife always tells me you can't steer the river, and that's where the consumer is when it comes to where they want to go. So I mean, we are going to have to understand that how we promote a listing on Zillow and how we use that data is just critical, and Zillow has pretty much control over that. So every listing goes to Zillow unless the seller decides not to put it on the internet. All right, so this is the seller's. Does that answer your question, Tiffany?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so this is the seller's report. They can click here to see information on their property, or they can click here to see that exact same thing I just sent you, all those metrics. You can copy this to a clipboard to paste into a listing presentation, or you can download a PDF of the report to use in your listing presentations. So I love this tool. I think this tool has a lot of potential to help you keep your sellers informed. I think it gives you a tool to help win more listings. As Tiffany said, people want to know where your listings are where their listings are posted, and we can show them that Zillow is our primary go-to site, and here's why. You can, like I said, you can remember to take this into your marketing. This is where your buyer is more than likely going to come from. You could even run a comparative chart and take that out on a listing presentation. I sent you all a flyer. If you want a flyer made with your picture on it that promotes this product, let me know. I'll make it for you, and I'll put it in a PDF and I'll send it to you. So I may be excited about this product, but what do you think about it? Denise? Denise, you're muted. Hold down your space bar. There you go.
Okay. I like it. You used it on Spinnaker, and that's my listing. However, I just reduced it by 50,000. So you should see a lot more activity coming up.
I'm sure we will. You
Yep.
know? And you should watch that line too, because it
am.
would help you if you kept, and that's why I love these kind of questions and give you ideas that you probably already thought of. But if you take that listing presentation and you can make a copy of that line, you can say to somebody in a future price reduction, hey, look here, here's what happened when we reduced the price of this house. Look at the traffic that increased to it. And then we were able to get it under contract.
Right.
So, I mean, always thinking ahead and how you can use your current metrics and data to help you win more listings and get price reductions when you need them will help you.
Yep.
Nancy, what do you think? Denise, anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thanks.
Nancy, what do you think of this product as a
I
new
like
agent?
it. I really like it. You know, Sam and I are working as a team, and this is her wheelhouse. She loves stuff like this. You know, I had people that did that for me for a while, so I'm starting to get used to all of this technology and the metrics and the systems, but I think it's going to be really good for us, you know, to track and keep an idea of what's going on in the market and what's going on with our portfolios.
Right, right. Well, what I'm going to ask you, like I said, I'm learning more about this every day. I'm trying to help work with the Coldwell Banker team to make some improvements on it. I know our old logo's up here, but we just got the logo changed on the reports to our new logo. But anything you learn with this, anything you experience with this, please share it with me so I can get that out to other agents. If you see something that needs to be improved, let me know. I'm trying to figure out, and I've asked a question, I don't have the answer yet. But when you look at the metrics, we'll come back to Spinnaker. And you see here inquiries by phone, and all these have zeros, but I don't know where that data comes from. So that's what I need to find out.
Right, because if they're pulling most of the data from Zillow, right, and that's all internet based, then where are the calls and the other stuff coming from?
Well, my thought is that consumers don't use the phone anymore. We know that from our offices, you know, but I need to confirm that, Nancy. I just don't know. All right.
You know, is it the kind of thing where, okay, maybe somebody called Laura in the office, but now a person physically has to go in somehow and record that data?
Well, maybe unless it's in, like I said, I don't know the.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some websites have a button where you can talk to an agent and do things like that. And I would
Right.
think that it would record those metrics. I just don't know, but that's why I'm trying to find out. I sent an email on this yesterday. You know, one thing I neglected to show you too was that this list export here. Now this, you can click on that and this will bring you up the actual numbers. Okay, and you can see exactly like Heritage House. Okay, they had one view, but it can really bring up some numbers to show you. And this is Trulia, coldwellbanker.com. So anyway, that's just and you can export that list if you want to, if you really want some raw numbers. So, all right, okay. So as I said, this was going to be short, and it's not that hard a thing. So play around with it. Please give me some feedback on any successes or problems or issues you've had with it. If you think this is a good tool, tell the other agents about it. I'm gonna schedule another one of these training classes really shortly. But I think it's a fantastic tool. So, any further questions?
Nope.
I just have one more, Jim.
Yes, please.
So, you know, not having any listings and being able to take this analytic data to a listing appointment, I think it's great. Just a question though, how would I use this data if I don't have a listing? So would I look at a similar home?
Tiffany, I can pull some data for you and make a handout for you
Okay.
on office stuff so that you can say, hey, look, here's where the information's coming from. So we can pull something out that you can use until such time you can do that.
Okay,
So, and we'll do that for anybody who needs it. So we sure will.
great.
That'd be a good idea, Jim.
All right, we can do that. So give me a few days to work on that, and we'll get something like that out to you. So, all right. Okay, any other questions? As in a meeting, seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. All right,
you.
bye.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.